is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome to the discussion for Sanctum. This game
is a game.
When I saw this game, because I saw the review before, like whenever it first came out, I was like, is this something that I want to get? And I was watching it. This is exactly the kind of game that I thought it was going to be. And it is, in my opinion, so boring. It's not bad. It's just, it's a game. It's these kind of games just kind of come out with a pretty generic theme, generic just whatever, demon lord, boss, nameless creatures, cannon fodder that you kill solely for their loot that eventually you become disinterested in as you eventually just max out your levels to which that becomes disinteresting. That's not to say this is a bad game. I wouldn't classify this as bad, but for me, I just so didn't care about anything that I was doing, that it was just, whenever I was looking at it, I was like, that just seems like a very generic, just kind of dungeon crawl almost is kind of what it feels like a little bit. You just roll dice to get blanket numbers, no meaningful decisions on my end. It was just kind of like, okay, I got a hit. Especially in late game. Late game, you're just just mowing down every enemy that you pick up, especially when you have so many ways to mitigate dice that it eventually just becomes a non-choice. That you're like, well, I can spend that, and up until you get to the final boss, you're like, I can just keep resting, so might as well just say I kill him. Yeah. That's kind of my overall thoughts. What do you guys think?
This game, I liked it. I definitely didn't have a problem with it. It was maybe I could take one panel out of the board out and make it a little shorter.
It's about an hour and a half, yeah.
If it was a 4-player game, because in a 3-player game we didn't do
level
the third
3
board, so there would have been an extra board in a 4-player game. So we would have.
Gotcha.
There is not enough to do.
How you leapfrog though?
Yeah,
I get why, but this falls in the category of games where I would just rather play a video game or the computer game or whatever, or the mobile game. That's just because that's how I'm drawn to. I don't really like dungeon and crawly. I don't always like dungeon crawly games. Or something that could just easily be simulated by a computer.
It's not to say that this game isn't that. There's games or people that this would be for, more of a gateway style kind of RPG session. This feels like how early Diablo 3 feels, where there's not a single challenge. You just mow everyone down, and the fact that you can almost max out your character's level as well kind of doesn't really give it any replayability. Like I said, this isn't a bad game. I would never want to play it again because I'm like, Kat almost got everything. I was the only one who didn't get almost everything. I had 3 things left, and I didn't want to because I just wanted these 2, and I had some badass loot, and I'm like, yep, if I have 9 focus, that's going to get me, and I can double up on focus, and I can reuse it. And I have blue potions, so I'm always going to have all this focus that allows me to mitigate dice in really any way. So you just I just felt like you were going through the motions.
I liked leveling up my character.
That is by far the coolest aspect of the game, but I still feel like that you're just you level cap. And you're like, it's like you level cap halfway through the game, and then you're like, well, what the fuck else am I supposed to do?
This game, to me, especially when you play a longer game, with 3 or 4 players, which I've played 3 characters. That was the only first time I'd seen that one being used. But personally, I think this game is about a 4-play game for you to play each character once. Because then once you try playing them again, this is the 4th time I've played this character.
Yeah.
And it's kind of...
I can see that, yeah.
Definitely.
So, which ones you want to get. You want to try to get the focus and stamina ones out to get more options to do stuff and everything. You want to make sure and get that berserker one out so you have two rage. It's kind of the same, and I'm sure it's the same with there's certain abilities that you just want to go for.
Because they're not complex enough for you to be like, ooh, if I get this combination of abilities, then that might work out. Because and setting up, it's the exact same layout. So this game could very much use for a massive expansion to include a different boss. I mean, fucking those things. Who cares? Yeah. I don't mind the way these work. Like, you kill him, you roll some dice. Chances are you're gonna kill him, or you're at least gonna get a few hits. Like you mentioned early on, you're not gonna die till the very end, so that becomes really okay. But whenever you kill him, I like that you flip them and that's the loot, and you can at least see what you're getting, which is nice. It could have been way worse, where it's totally random, and you're like, I need a fucking helmet, and I don't know who has it, but you can actually see that.
For all intents and purposes, this is like Diablo. I mean, you go into it, the monsters are pretty much nameless. You're just going in and hacking. Mm-hmm. Even to the point where they had an achievement board. So it was like there was aachievement's, like video game achievements. If you were the first to do this, you got this achievements. That didn't really end up doing much.
No, they literally, what they became was essentially their own shields for his abilities. Right. Was just lose a blessing, okay. Lose a blessing, okay. Like...
Right. I don't know. There's a solo mode because CG is really good. They've done it with Lost Ruins of Arnak and stuff like that, of creating custom content that you can download, and they have a solo campaign for this.
Yeah.
But it changes the game up totally. Like,
really?
Like there's a story with it and all that stuff. I have it printed out. I haven't played it yet.
Yeah.
I'll probably try it just to see what it's like.
That's how it should have been played anyway, because halfway through the game, I was like, I do not give a shit what you guys are doing.
Yeah, and that wasn't evident to me, because when I played it those times preparing for this, I was controlling 3 characters,
right?
So I was constantly doing stuff.
Yeah.
But then sitting here, I'm looking at this and I'm waiting. My turn's over, and you're doing all your stuff, and then you're doing all your stuff, and I'm just like, it really brings that out.
Yeah, the only thing that mattered was, it's like, because what you should be doing throughout the game is be like, are you going to move? No, go. Because if you're not moving, you're resting or attacking, you can do all that on your own. Are you moving? No, do it. I'm moving. Because that's the only thing in this entire game that affects anything.
Yeah.
And even that, very little. It doesn't really matter. It just gives you first dibs on a potential item to get, or a pairing.
Well, and even with the point at the very end, the end game, the Demon Lord fight, it's like, it seems disjointed, because we're kind of going up this path. We get to this big bad guy, and now it's like we're all 3 fighting. Like, listen, now there's 3 Demon Lords,
right?
Because we're each, the only thing happening, his roar cards would come out and would affect us all, but we're each affecting him totally differently.
Yeah.
And this was just so fucking stupid.
This is why I was waiting for you to play. I was okay, here we go.
It's okay. I'm curious, because I'm curious why do you think I think this is stupid?
Because I've played games with you before. And I know what you like and what you don't like.
This is stupid because it's entirely meaningless.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like, you roll dice, and it's like, you are inevitably taking 8 damage. No matter what. Like, you are, because like, even, because I never had a chance. I think there was a time where you guys had like, you had 2, 2, and 2. Mine kept 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 2, and then I finally got the 2, 2 before I moved on. But it's just like, so every time I just stop here, and no matter what, even you don't have 6 dice to be able to hop up and potentially take less damage. So it was just like, oh nope, taking 8 damage. Like, okay, then why? Yeah, I get that he gets weaker over time, but once again, just going through this is Diablo Splendor. Like, you just go through the motions of just same old of just, all right, got exactly what I needed, have ways to mitigate. Oh, okay, next round I'm gonna spend my potions that I very much planned for.
I'm looking to see what other games the guy has designed. 'Cause I'm curious. I've seen that name on stuff before, but
I also I love the board art.
Yeah,
I mean, it's
Love
pretty.
the art
CGE does
in general, just so pretty.
CGE does great. I mean, component quality is great. I mean, Lost Ruins of Arnak is gorgeous. All CGE games are whimsical or very, very beautiful to look at.
Yeah.
And that was a really big bonus too, is that instead of making this obscene board, they have your tiles double-sided, so it was like you were transitioning through the world.
Right, you were
It was kinda
heading through the
neat,
world.
you know,
That is
like,
a nice...
Like
I
when
mean,
you play Diablo on screen, you move to the different deal of the screen, Okay, the Philip
Neddick.
Neddick has only done 2 other games, Goblins Inc. and Adrenaline.
Well, Adrenaline's good.
So he likes
but
doing video game.
He does seem to do...
so-
Yeah. Adrenaline is by far the better of his games. I would go out on a limb and say this is CGE's worst game that I have
don't
personally
know.
played. Adrenaline, Under Falling Skies, Lost Ruins of Arnak, Space Alert, Dungeon...
Space Alert, I hate. That would be my worst.
Okay.
Got Galaxy Truckers. And
Galaxy
1 and 2.
Trucker, Dungeon Pets, Dungeon
I
Lords.
haven't played those 2.
Dungeon Pets.
Haven't played Pulsar, so I don't know about that one. Space Alert, I think was great, but if you were playing it solo, then yeah, it's way too.
no, I played it with 4 people, but I still hated it. I hate the real time aspect.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, but in my opinion, this one, and it's not that like even at CGE's worst is still better than most games. I'm just like this almost feels like a tester, like Philip's like kind of like well, let's just kind of make this, see what people think of
It's
it.
kind of like it's just meh.
Yeah,
It's a meh game.
it's hard. I always hate reviewing games like this where I'm neither on this game's really great or this game's really shitty. I'm just very blah in the middle. But yeah, like I said, this isn't even bad. It's just who cares? This does not feel like for everything you do for an hour and a half. This does not feel like a final boss. Like even I don't even mind the fact that that you can potentially die at the end, even though it's completely random at that point with the abilities that go off and then his roars that go off. It's just you roll dice and most likely you're gonna get exactly what you need unless you happen to get exactly what Kat got and rolled all ones.
Yeah. I will say, because I think along with the solo campaign, I think they have a cooperative version of this.
Okay.
Which is worth trying because like my biggest complaint of there's a lot of things nickel and dime in it, but is how everybody fights their own. And there's one demon lord, but we're all fighting.
We all fight our own demons.
Right,
this
but-
wasn't a
but-
real demon lord; it was our own
Right, so
personal
if there's a
demons.
cooperative version where you're powering yourself. It's kind of like real Diablo. You're kind of powering yourself up.
Oh yeah.
And then everybody takes on the bad guy at the deal. It's like I wonder if it changes it somehow where everybody's dice go in
Yeah.
and do stuff like if you do a bunch work hard. I don't know.
Right.
And it's worth checking out. But as of right now with this, I mean, that we can't use
Like
that as
comparing it to Diablo, which it does kind of feel like with its random loot drops, its generic monsters, and then even the final bosses are a joke until you're at literally like max level, which you can't even ramp up to until you pass certain points in the campaign. I quit playing Diablo because I was like, this is so easy. We go in, and my friend I was playing it with got all the great epic loot, and so it's like boss time. Oh, he just one-shot it. I'm like, what the fuck is the point of this? I'm wasting my time just playing here, not even enjoying any of the boss fights. Like, and he's like, yeah, I get it. So I'm like, I don't care. Like, fuck Diablo. I just don't care, and I just don't care about this game, this activity. I just didn't really even care about loot. When we were picking them, like when you get to and you flip them all over, it's like I don't care what's out there. I'll take it and I'll sell it for a potion that I can sell for I got this back. All right, that's my turn. Is it your turn? Oh, you're moving. Okay, take a monster. Are you okay? All right, how much longer?
Yeah.
Minis are nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I really got nothing else to really say. Yeah, this was a game that was made.
It is a game.
This is a game that people can buy, and even then, even if they came out with an expansion, I don't really care about any of the mechanisms.
It's another board.
It's like, yeah, it'd be another boss that would probably play out the exact same way everyone gets their own rows of cards. I guarantee you, if they did, it'd be a necromancer. Calling
Probably.
it, if an expansion comes out, it's a necromancer,
This
or
one-
it's a lich or something.
I honestly don't think there'll be, because this one didn't have. It wasn't like burning the.
It came out, yeah. I
came out,
I
people
remember,
really weren't.
yeah, I remember seeing this on like the Gen Con, because there's always a geek list on board of like things that are announced for Gen Con, and this was one of them. And I'm like, oh, cool, I'll pick it up. It didn't come out in time for Gen Con, so yeah, then it just kind of came out, and everyone forgot about it.
Well, I think the early people that got it, played it, and it was like, meh.
Yeah.
And then it just never.
I don't even remember, because I watched Tom Vassel's review on it, a while back, that it's been so long I don't even remember what he said, but I feel like that his favorite thing was the character, like the actual game was just so-so, but this was cool, and yeah, this is by far the best part of the game, but when you max out on everything, and you play, like there's no versatility between any of the leveling up. Like, Kat got all her special abilities, except for one. And I didn't even really care. Like, I got 2 of them that worked well together, and I'm like, alright, that's that. You guys got anything else?
Not really.
Alright, scale of 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give it a 5.
5?
Yeah.
Brad?
I'll do 6.
6. Based off CG's track record, I'm actually going to give this a 4. I think this is easily their worst. It's slightly below average because even their which I mean every single one of their games and obviously Lost Ruins of Arnak is their newest one. Every single one of their games I'd gladly go back to. Like I said, this isn't bad, but about halfway through I was like, I'm ready for this to be over. I just got bored, and you got to keep CGE when you got to keep companies up to their standard. You can't just drop just any game with just a generic whatever. But yeah, like if anyone's like, "Hey, you want to play Sanctum?" I'd be like, "No, I really don't. Like I don't want to spend an hour and a half. How many people are there? 4? No, I do not want to play a 2-hour game of that." So yeah. And you fight for those achievements that mean nothing.
It's just ways not to get hurt.
That's
really.
literally it, yeah.
You're fighting for shield.
I actually don't even mind that your health is your victory points. That's
Yeah.
a neat idea, if only it actually fucking mattered.
It did in this case.
I didn't care.
Well, right.
Like, I could have died, and I'd be like,
Right.
great, you won, Brad, let's move on.
Yeah.
Unless you died as well, then it'd be like, well, because you can see the tiebreaker is, so then you're essentially just hoping that you don't also die for the tiebreaker. I guess there's a different thing to read.
Yeah, if you all lose, no one wins.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Whew, boy. Yeah, so 654.
Yeah.
All right, so that's our thoughts on Sanctum. Let us know what you think of the game in the comments below. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you. Hey everyone, thank you for watching, and I really hope that you enjoyed the video. If you would like to see more of my content, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the bell to be notified whenever I upload any new content. If you feel like supporting the channel, you can go ahead and click that Patreon link to be taken to my Patreon, and any help is truly appreciated. Other than that, stick around for any other run-throughs or reviews or cool top 10s or whatever I feel like putting on. Other than that, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have a wonderful whatever time of day it is for you.